I've been watching a lot of videos lately about a lot of single people and generation that's coming up behind me that are concerned about a lot of single people, concerned about a lot of these young ladies who don't want to commit, who don't want to have families, who don't want to get married. And they're basically bashing them, calling them names and everything else, that they're selfish and, some other names that I don't even want to repeat. And about how they don't want to date them anymore because they're no good and this, that, and the other. And they're partially right about that. But what I asked them to do is just to listen to my video about the backstory. Because as I stated before, if somebody behaves a certain way or acts a certain way, there's usually a backstory for that. Now, I'm going to speak from my own previous experience, and I'm going to speak a little bit about dysfunction and how it affects a person's behavior in their adulthood as to why they conduct their life a certain way. And this is in regards to why a lot of these females behave this way. Now, us as a civilization, as humans, part of our duties involve procreation in order to keep civilization going. Part of it is procreation. There's a certain point of our lives, especially as females, is that we have to establish a home and try to keep the bloodline going. Now, some of us may not be able to physically do it, but we can do it by, adoption or trying to raise someone else's child. But either way, trying to build a family. Try to build a family some way or another. That's what we do. We try to keep the bloodline going. And unfortunately, there is a younger generation of women that's not interested in doing that. They don't want to commit. Mindset is very temporal. And I'm going to tell you, I've spoken to a lot of these young ladies, and even though a lot of them come from different backgrounds, economically, religious, racially, otherwise, the story seems to come back to the same thing. And the final point is that they don't want to go through the struggles that their parent or parents went through. They're afraid of going through that pain, that emotional trauma. They don't want to go through it. And in order to avoid that, they just stay away from any type of familial commitment altogether. They don't want to even approach it. And that's why they don't want to do it. They don't want to get close to anyone on that level to even get near that. And it's unfortunate. So they create the scenario in their mind, okay, I'm going to adopt a lifestyle where I won't have time. I'm going to develop a mindset where I just won't be available for that. I'm going to create this script in my life where I won't be approachable to that possibility. So that way I won't get hurt. And I know this seems a little deep for you, but I'm saying this where I really want you to understand that's where it's coming from in a lot of these cases. If the female's a single parent, there's a lot of cases where the single parent that they were raised with was probably a single parent that had to do it on their own, and it was a struggle because the absent parent was not available either due to marriage, incarceration, or death. And that absence traumatized the young lady. And seeing that parent struggle like that, She decided in her mind at an early age that she wasn't going to go through it no matter what. So she hypnotized herself at an early age that it wasn't going to happen to her. I am a person where I hypnotized, I can't even say the word. I brainwashed myself at an early age. There were certain things that I wasn't going to put up with that I saw my mother go through, that I wasn't going to put up with in relationships, okay? I think all of us females went through that. I came from a two-parent home, but there were certain things that, I knew that I wasn't going to put up with. And to this day that I'm not going to put up with. But it's not at that level, though. But still. And in the cases of these young ladies, it's been in them for years. And no amount of talking or charm or anything else is going to change that. That's something that's going to have to work within them and them only. Now, in the cases of two parents, it could have been a situation where that young lady could have been exposed to either conflict in the home or a total lack of emotional display, a total lack of emotional attention. I'm familiar with that. I didn't have a household where there was a whole bunch of noise and confusion. That was a good thing, but in a lot of cases it was bad. A lot of cases it was bad because sometimes it was eerily quiet. When I knew some things should have been said, I knew there should have been some blow-ups, because sometimes I wish if there were some blow-ups, things wouldn't have gotten so bad. Sometimes you just got to let things blow up and hash shit out so it could be done and over with. And there are some people that feel it's just better to just be quiet and just don't say nothing. That's not the solution to everything all the time. Sometimes if you just let things blow up and be over with, you could come to a solution to the problem. It could be done. Sometimes that explosion has to happen. And it took me many, many years to understand and deal with that. So I really was never taught at a young age how to fight. Because there was never any real confrontation. There was never, it's like maybe one or two cases I actually blew up, but I was always taught to suppress. Because there was a lot of suppression going on. For the sake of appearances in a lot of cases. But that can be a bad thing. And that can be traumatizing. Because when you do express yourself, most times it's in a negative way when it does come out. Because it doesn't come out properly. It's been bottled up so long, when it comes out, it doesn't come out the way it should come out. And so a lot of these young ladies, they take that bottled up energy and they create a script, they create a program and decide, okay, you know what? I see XYZ happening and nothing's being done about it, but this is what I'm going to do. Whether it's right or wrong, they decide in their mind, okay, all right, so, okay, I see this, okay, I see this is what happened. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So they shut themselves off. They close things off. So they're not willing to receive. So by the time they get at that age where it's time for them to do so, they're incapable of it. So I kind of hope that helps. It's an internal mechanism. It's a defense mechanism that is used to prevent getting close. A lot of these women deep down may possibly want to have that, but they have trained their mind to believe that it's not possible. and have actually adapted a persona that is not going to happen for them and that is not possible for them, so they will not accept it. So the best thing for you to do is, once you see that, if you're a gentleman or a lady that's interested in this type of person, is not to even try to adjust their thinking on that, is to just give them their space and let them be. And if you're in the mindset and you want it right now, don't waste any more time. Wish them well. Wish things work out for them, but don't look for them to change, because they're just not there yet. But attacking them is not going to make them change. Okay? It's not going to make them change, and that's wasting your energy and your time. So the attacks, just stop. Just stop. Let it go, and just keep the search going, okay? Be blessed. Stay well. I'll talk to you guys later.